Okay. Whew. We are live. I'm a little bit late. I set the time a little bit later. It's so hard for me to, whenever I have something to do on the days that I have these streams, it's very hard for me to, get here on time. But hopefully this won't last much longer. So my Monday schedule is about to clear up. But anyway, what is up, guys? It is crazy right now on the internet streets with this Oscar drama. I totally forgot the Oscars were on last night. I didn't even watch. I was just minding my own business, chilling at my neighbor's house. The next thing you know, I see "Good for Will" trending. I'm like, "Good for Will." Next thing I know, that's all I see is a damn slap. So we are going to get into that. Today is going to also be a call-in show, which means you can call in and tell me what you think about the slap. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's staged? Do you have any conspiracies? You can let me know all that. I'm about to post the call-in link right now. They go through. Okay, we got the call-in link. What happened? Hello, hello, hello. Did my sound go? Oh. Okay. Yeah, so I'm about to post a call-in link. You can call in, give your thoughts. I actually just finished. Oh, shit. I was trying to watch some other people's opinions because I'm like, why is my opinion so different than other people? I'm starting like, do I have the wrong opinion? But then I watched people who I actually like my favorite YouTubers like Lovely T and Ethan Klein of H3, and we have the same opinion. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I can feel a little bit better about saying this. If you agree with Chris Rock slapping Will Smith, I definitely really, Chris Rock slapping Will Smith. If you agree with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, definitely want you to call in for sure. So, all right. Anyway, make sure you guys put a like, give the thumbs up. It has been, now that I'm thinking about it, it's been a while since I've been back home in my, typical setup. I would like to say it feels weird, but it doesn't. It feels like I'm back. I'm back and I'm better than ever. So yeah, it's been a while. There's gonna be a little bit of a mukbang because I didn't get my food together. So tonight on the menu, a Greek Caesar. I know people say it's cheaper to just buy a regular salad, and make it yourself. But I'm just lazy sometimes, and it's nice when they have all of the ingredients right there for you, and you can just, it's not bad. A dinner, it's $3. It's already pre-made, pre-portioned, and then I love to have these with if you have these with like a piece of meat, piece of chicken, just makes everything so much easier. And this Greek Caesar has pita, pieces of pita as croutons, feta cheese, and of course, this is like a, I don't know, a feta kind of Caesar dressing, or it has a lot of herbs in it, like thyme and I think rosemary, so it's good. It's like better than Caesar in my opinion. Oh crap. So yeah. This is what I'm gonna be eating. Mix that up. All right. This will be a little bit of a mukbang. I need that. This is it all mixed together. I thought I would have been able to eat before the stream, but I'm not able. I had breakfast around 10:30. No. Anyway, let's go. Before we get started, I want to give you guys some updates. My car. I think last time we were talking about my car. Car's fixed. Broke the bank. It was very, 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 very expensive. And I'm on some F New York type shit right now. So I don't want to go back there for a long time. Who knows what the future holds. So yeah. As for my anxiety, I was talking about before, it's still pretty heightened right now. Hopefully that goes away. But anyway, we're dealing with that. So I do want to give y'all some updates. So y'all know that I got my logo for Poseidon Films, and I finally also, wait, hold up. I finally updated my Teespring. Oh my gosh. What is happening right now? So I added some new items to my Teespring. Now that we officially have the Poseidon Films logo, if you guys are interested in supporting my film production my film production company, it's a t-shirt with the logo and that there is more beneath the service. Yeah, the theme is navy blue. I'm probably gonna have a black one of these. It's weird because there was more going on. Also, I have a coffee mug with the Poseidon Films. I'll probably be getting one of these myself, obviously. Yeah, I haven't shown this in a while, but yeah, my Teespring is here. I designed all of these shirts. This is my photography. This I made in Photoshop. This little graphic. This Nmart I also made in. This is my photography. A client of mine. I made this Day Lion, Michael Jackson reminiscent type thing. Nmart, I'm just happy to be here. Barbados, Nmart, this is my photography as well. I made this in Photoshop, more photography. Barbados. This is some more California tees. And yeah, I made these. And so it's so weird because there's hoodies as well, but I don't know why the hoodies are not showing up. I don't know. It's weird. Gen Z, get off of me. Go away. But anyway, hopefully y'all see the Poseidon Films hoodies. They should show up. They should show up soon. So, and also don't forget to follow my Instagram, Poseidon Films page. 29 followers, been trying to get to 100. Help me get to 100. Of course, I post about the Will Smith thing. Post about movies, West Side Story recently. Just clips from movies. If you love stuff about movies, TV shows, films, filmmaking memes, announcements, trailers, sometimes jokes, check it out. It would really help me a lot. What is happening? My internet being weird? Useless. I'm about to call these people tomorrow and because I'm paying extra for internet and it don't matter. Anyway, let's get to the topic of the hour. Will Smith, Chris Rock. Yeah, so I found it was hard for me to find the full clip on YouTube. So I'm hoping that this one that I found is actually it. So we're going to mute it though, so we don't get flagged, so they don't try to take the video down. Okay. Okay. I guess he's making jokes. Okay. Wait, is this sped up? Oh, it is. Hold on. All right, so let's analyze. Let's analyze this shit. Like everybody else is analyzing. Oh wait, I have to share the screen, don't I? All right. All right, let's analyze this shit. All right. So we got Chris Rock here making jokes. I need to play this music really low though, because I don't want them to snatch the video down. So I'm hoping that y'all can hear both. Okay. Okay, right. He makes the G.I. Jane joke, right? Okay, making fun of Javier and Penelope. Is it Jada? I love you, G.I. Jane. Okay, so the crowd made a sound. Hold up. I know the Oscar's gonna snatch this down so fast. Wait, we gotta hear this.
Can't win.
Okay.
Like, please. He's talking about another couple in there. Wife, why you on your period? Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. I don't understand.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Okay. Okay, Jada seems like she didn't really like that joke. Will, on the other hand, he thought it was funny. That's what it looks like to me. She definitely cut her eyes. She didn't like it. He said that was a nice one. Right. Okay, so it seemed like maybe the crowd didn't really find it that funny. Maybe they knew, that they say that Jada's deals suffers from alopecia. And so I don't know if they knew that, but people been making an argument like, how could Chris know that? Like, does she have that? I don't even know that. And I stay up to date, you know. And I'm definitely stealing this from Lovely T. I just watched her thing, and just to see, I'm like, do I have the right opinion? And she was saying the same thing, that Jada has always worn her hair short since, I don't know, the beginning, the 90s, for forever. So I don't know. I never thought that shaving her hair was like, I don't know. I'm obviously, for the person who goes through it, for who goes through hair loss, I'm sure it's like, crazy. It's horrible. It's awful, whatever, to lose your hair. I can't imagine if my hair was falling out. But I never, hey Unku, how's it going? I never would have associated her baldness with disease or, cancer or anything. Because usually people who have cancer, they have like a certain look to them. I don't know if it's a medication or whatever. But I just thought she just shaved her head, like that. Like, that's kind of where it ends. So I wonder if he thought that. Also, I do think the joke was like, I think the joke was mild. I don't think the joke was really like mean spirited or like, I don't know, like, I don't think it was that bad. I did hear another person commenting though about a black man on stage making fun of a black woman's hair, and the optics of that is bad. And I can definitely see that side. I can see that side of it. But I could tell if he had made a joke, maybe saying like that it was ugly or something in some way. But she just said G.I. Jane, which G.I. Jane was played by Demi Moore, is a movie from the 80s. And, G.I. This actually, I'm pretty sure, was a movie that Demi Moore was famous for. Let me show you. For those of y'all who don't know, I know I got some young folks, some young ones in here. I've actually never seen this movie, but I know it, and I know who it is. And so, Demi, she shaved her head for this role. So that's what he meant by G.I. Jane. And so, yeah, I don't think the joke was that bad, but yes, okay, I understand the optics. A black man talking about a black woman's hair in public, whatever. And, she seemed like she definitely did not appreciate the joke. So, she's probably still very sensitive about it. But Chris Rock, I don't know. I saw some stuff. We're going to look at Twitter as well. I heard some stuff about people saying that the black community has problems with Chris Rock, which I'm not familiar with. Maybe it's something, I don't know. I did watch his movie Good Hair years ago. But I mean, at the time, I don't remember anything being wrong with it. But maybe if I watched it with, being grown and having like a new eye on it, that, it might be problematic in a way. I'm not sure. Uncle says the joke was a non-issue. I can't believe he slapped Chris for that. I'm gonna give you my theory on on the reason why he slapped. He didn't slap him for that. SJW talking point to me, low key. Yeah, it was definitely SJW. And for me too, I was actually very surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised by how many people were backing Will for this. Like, to me, it's just like, this just screams dysfunction. Like, y'all love dysfunction. Like, yeah, that's right, slap him. Like, he should have slapped him. It's like, y'all so, yeah, just dysfunctional. Like, y'all love to see someone get slapped, someone get beat down, like get beat up and stuff like that. Like, it's really weird. Like, honestly, to me, the God honest truth, Will Smith seems utterly unhinged. Like, literally unhinged. And then the whole him doing that, and then then crying about it afterward and getting sympathy. I'm like, are we in clown world? Like, what is going on here? Like, this is so weird. Travel Mango Media says, I follow her on IG and I had no idea that's why she went bald. She's always doing risque things, so it just seemed normal to me. And Willow is bald too, but now that we know this, maybe she did it too. Yeah, I think that might is probably the reason, because there are people that shave their heads to support those with cancer and stuff like that. I actually have a cousin who shaved her head when her mother had her diagnosis and she, lost all her hair due to chemo, and my cousin also shaved her head as well. Yeah, to support her mom. Uncle says they still mad for the black people versus ninjas joke. I mean, but that joke is like a classic and it's like so true. But I feel like only certain black people are mad at that joke, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say, because the rest of us is like, we're laughing with, okay? We're laughing with. He slapped her because of Jada, obviously. He was enjoying the jokes. High key clown world stuff. Like, yeah, seriously, it was very much giving clown world. All right, so let's go back and look at this again.
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. I don't get it. Oh, that was pretty soft. Wow.
And then he's smiling.
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke. I'm going to, okay?
I have to keep the music on. Yeah, it's awkward. I would not even.
Oh, that's why you
Yeah,
Let me get this straight, right? So Kanye West has
he held his composure pretty well. He held his composure pretty well, considering all things considered. Actually, let me just pause this. I wanted to play the music so that I'm probably going to end up editing that part out and the playback, because I'm sure the Oscars is snatching shit down. I couldn't find a clip like hardly at all. Also, Uncle says, people acting like Jada was Rapunzel beforehand. She had been sporting a low cut, so it's not out of the ordinary. Yeah, I don't know if you, like, at what point you came in, but that's what I was saying. I was like, she's been wearing a short haircut since the 90s. Like, are we missing something here? Like, that's what she was known for. Like, the pixie cut, like the short hair. She was a short hair black female baddie, like Nia Long, like Laura Winslow. I don't remember her name, but I remember being young and being like, they are the most beautiful women in the world. Like, I really thought that Laura Winslow and Nia Long were just like it. Like, they were just it, especially the pixie haircut. And I always dreamed of having my hair cut that short, but I just feel like I don't have the face for it, and I was just never able to do it. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, yeah. So, Halle Berry. Oh yes, Halle Berry too. Halle Berry made that look sexy. So did Toni Braxton. Exactly. So it's like she was one of them girls. So it's just kind of weird. So like I said, and the crying and the being consoled and all this other shit, it's just like, I've been saying this for a couple months now, and now I can finally come out and say it. I believe, I know this word is used a lot these days, but I believe that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are narcissists. There, I said it. There, I freaking said it. I've been wanting to say that for so long. I feel like they are such narcissists because they are always doing some publicity stunt, some attention thing, some kind of thing. And I believe he slapped him. The main reason, number one, he's unhinged. Okay. He wants attention. He knew he was going to win, and he wants to make this the biggest night in the world, the biggest thing in the whole effing world. And he all the chips were kind of falling in the right in the right place. Okay. Uga says, speaking on the list, I'm here for the breakdown. Yes, this is what I believe. They do all of this stuff, the red table talk, talking about their business, doing the same shit. I'm up here. I tell you all my business, whatever. We doing this for attention. You know what I mean? I'm doing it for views, doing it for a release, whatever. And then he wrote, like literally, I remember seeing on the Shade Room people saying, take us out the chat. Take us out the chat. We don't want to hear what Will and Jada are doing. Like, stop telling us y'all business. Like, people were literally roasting them and shit like that. And like, the August Alsina thing, and they have an open relationship. And I know that, I guess, when you get older, this is what I notice about these celebrities, that when they get older, they have they have this hold on. Ooh, is this, can y'all let me know if this is loud? Okay. When these celebrities get older, they hit middle age and stuff like that, they start to think about legacy and purpose, right? And so that's when you'll notice they'll start speaking more about politics. They'll start, wanting to do things. They want to change. They want to do the world, all this kind of stuff. And I believe, because within the past couple of years, we noticed that Will Smith now, he's got a YouTube channel. He's really out there. He's always telling people how to think, what to do, how, all this shit. Then Jada with her red table talk, she's just talking too. And, you know, her whole family, her mom, her daughter, they're just up there talking about shit, and he keeps talking stuff, and like, everybody's been roasting them, everybody's been making fun of them, him in particular. Everyone's saying, you don't have your wife under control, your wife's a hoe and you let her. Will Smith is a cuck. That's what they're saying. They're out in the streets, they're saying that Will Smith is a cuck. And for y'all don't know what a cuck is a man who watches another man F his wife in front of him, and is usually done for XXX pleasure, okay? And they're calling him a cuck because he was hanging with August Alsina. He knew what was going on. The only thing that's different between Will and Jada is that Will, he has relationships as well, and it's been documented, but no one wants to follow up on that because they're like, oh, well, men cheat, men sleep around, that's normal. But when a woman does, oh, hell no. So it's like, honestly, too, the black community has been roasting Will Smith. Like, you letting this dude pipe down your wife? Like, you're letting him do that? Like, you're a simp. Like, and they keep using that meme. What's that Will Smith meme with his face? Oh my gosh. Y'all know which one it is. They keep using this meme to describe him, right? This is Will Smith because his wife keep cheating on him. Okay, this is him. This is his face, and they showing him crying that she's that she's such a hoe. And so I think that obviously was really getting into him. But dude, you've been talking about your business for you are telling your own business. You are the one that's putting it out there. So if you put it out there, you're going to expect that people are going to talk about it. And then honestly, Chris's joke was very mid, as the kids are now saying. It was very, very mid. It was not mean, nasty, whatever. And then I don't know. I was listening to H Street. I caught them in the middle, but it was actually, I believe, a black female caller that was calling in to talk to Ethan, which I feel like that never happens. And I was like, oh, this is great. I want to hear what she's got to say. Like she's talking, trying to explain plain like nuances in the black community and stuff like that. She was okay. She supported Will slapping Chris Rock, which I'm just like, and then and she was talking about stereotypes and stuff, and Ethan was asking her like legitimate questions like, okay, if you're worried about stereotypes about violence and stereotypes of making fun of black women, all this stuff, why would you go on stage at the Oscars, which was supposed to be a classy event, and slap another black man in the face? Now, could you imagine? No, you couldn't imagine because he wouldn't have did it to someone else, but we'll get to that in a second. Could you imagine if Chris Rock then was like, oh hell no, and then the two of them is rumbling and rolling around on the stage fighting and whooping each other's ass? Like how that would have looked? That would have looked so bad. And like now you win an Oscar, you know, and now your entire Oscar performance is going to be overshadowed by the fact that this event happened. Everybody else the rest of the night that won awards, best picture, best actor, like, the next day we're supposed to know about these things, right? The next day we're supposed to hear about all the people that won, learn about all the movies we got to check out. I'm sorry, y'all. We're supposed to learn about all the movies we're supposed to check out, all the new actors that won stuff. I had to go looking to find out that I think her name's Ariana DeBose from the new West Side Story. And she won Best Actress. Like, that's fantastic. She played Anita, and she's wonderful, wonderful dancer, wonderful singer. And everybody else's night has been ruined because of your fucking ass. It was not because of you. And now Serena Williams, Venus Williams, their life story, is now being stained by this. So I think he was embarrassed. I think that if it was Ricky Gervais or what's that fat white guy that does the singing in the car karaoke, or if it was Jimmy Kimmel, he wasn't gonna go up there and slap Jimmy Kimmel. Go up there and slap Jimmy Fallon. You really think he would have did that? No. He did it with Chris Rock because he knew he was the one. And he went up there and did that to send a message to people. I'm no simp. I'm no punk. Whatever. Like what? Mango Media says, nah, in fairness, that was August who went and told, and they ignored it for a long time. Yeah, August went and told out loud, but everybody knew. Huh. Everybody knew they was effing. They was leaving each other birthday messages like, I just want to give a happy birthday to one of my very closest deep soulmate relationships. And you only have one lifetime, but there's times when you meet a certain soul and you just connect with them on such a deep personal level. And da 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 da. And I respect your fiber of your being and every inside you from the head to your toe. It's just like, we know you getting the eggplant, girl. Come on now. We know you getting it in. I would get it in like, shoot. I've been honest about them being open. It's been known that their relationship is open for years. Everybody has known it. But now, because August Alsina comes out and he's young and viral and everyone knows he's got everybody knows he's got the hammer down there. Y'all should know I'm ratchet. I'm sitting here stuffing my face. But it made him look so soft. Uncle says Chris Rock literally joked about Nicole Brown Simpson after she died. Like, come on now. Compare that to Hair is Nothing. True. I'm sorry, but some of this Tumberlina and Twitter, Black girls are out of line. They co-sign anything that looks like fake support. Twitter is such a cesspool, weird place. People will look for any reason to align with dysfunction. Like, I truly believe that I, and Ethan, I love Ethan Klein. He made an interesting comment, so let's look at what he said. But I think I went through why I feel that, I feel like he did. I feel like Chris Rock was the right one because he knew he wasn't going to do anything. Now, imagine, like I said, if it was Jimmy Kimmel, he would not have gone up and slapped Jimmy Kimmel. He would be done. His career would be done, over. Why? Jimmy Kimmel works for ABC, I'm pretty sure. ABC is Disney, is Discovery Plus, is Hulu. You're done. You're done. He would not have done that if it was him. If it was like, say, Mike Epps or somebody, would not have done that because you're about to get your effing ass whooped. I mean, not that Cat Williams would be hosting the Oscars, but if it was him, you wouldn't have did that neither. You know what I mean? He knew he picked the right one. He looks like a deranged lunatic. And it's possible that he might have been drinking too. I mean, who knows? But obviously, a lot of celebrities do drink when they go to these things. Believe it or not, a lot of celebrities are also nervous when they go to these things. So they drink to loosen up, to pass time, to make it more comfortable. And I'm pretty sure that Will knew he was going to win that night because, so y'all know that award shows are bullshit, obviously. Award shows are not won by who is the best. Award shows are won by who campaigns the best. So to go from Oscar so white with them boycotting to now attaining and getting the Oscar that he wanted so bad, he likely went to so many events. He talked to so many people. He probably called so many people's kids and been like, "Hey, it's Will Smith. How are you, little Johnny? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll make sure to talk to so-and-so." Like, it's a campaigning thing that you have to do. You know why? Because there's so many actors and shit that deserve it, and just never get it because it's about who brown noses sucks the brown pudding. That's disgusting. I'm disgusting. Nah, I disagree. He did that for his woman. You got to respect that. No, I don't respect that. I don't respect violence. I don't agree with this. Words means I get to hit you. I don't agree with that. There are people like, okay, you talk about my mom, you talk about my wife, you talk about this, then we're gonna fight. Them fighting words. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't agree with hitting people, especially not over a joke. Like, he very well could have taken Chris afterward, taken him after, and talked to him. Talked to him and told him about her medical condition, whatever. And Chris could have made a public, as much as the joke was public, he could have then made a public apology after. Not this foolishness. That's done, but who have they been linked to other than August? Because I don't even hear no names. I don't remember Will Smith's girlfriend, but it was a woman that he was dating for years. Like, he had a long-term girlfriend. Lovely T has it on her channel. You can literally just Google this. Will Smith girlfriend. Look it up. We all know Jada was still smashing Tupac. That's the bro, right? He's like a brother to me. Come on. You know what he would have had to deal with from Jada if he didn't do anything? What would he have done? What would he have had to deal with? He would have felt bad. Him and Jada could have talked to Chris Rock after the fact and said, dude, that joke was not okay, and Chris could have made a public apology afterward. I think he would have slapped one of them too. No, he wouldn't have. He would be finished. You don't think he deserved that for that movie? I'm sorry. What are you referring to? I know I'm late on the chat. Words are not violence. People that do that need to grow the hell up. Honestly, one of the cringiest things I saw recently is a black guy punching someone for the N-word. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I've been called the N-word before. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I have to explain it, it's just like we just look at the world differently. We just look at the world differently. Like, and that, you know, that's what it is. It sounds very dysfunctional to me. It sounds very dysfunctional, toxic, you know, resorting to violence. And then yeah, Ethan, like I said, which I'm about to read, he made a very good point. He made a very good point about assaulting a comedian telling a joke, because we all know that right now comedians are like, it's like anything they say they get like, they get in trouble for it, right? They can't just say things, they can't just make comments, you know. We see it happen with Dave Chappelle, we see it happen with all kinds of people. That's rumor and speculation. I'm sorry. I like I said, I'm late on the chat, so I'm not sure what you mean. If you're talking about them dating other people, it's not a rumor. It's there's photographic evidence of it. Him and this one particular woman going going on vacation together for years, always around each other. Oh, maybe you're saying rumor and speculation about Jada and Tupac. Yeah, but it's not rumor and speculation that they have an open relationship. He talks about it. Everyone knows it. This is common knowledge. A lot of celebrities have open relationships. Probably most of them. Don't you know anything about Hollywood? I'm a pro in this shit. I'm a historian. I'm an American Hollywood historian. Comedy is dying. I'm about to have a bunch of comedians making specials sounding like Ned Flanders. Oakley dokley. I'm anti-violence too. I'm just saying that stepping up for his woman who was clearly hurt was honorable. It would have been honorable if afterward he took Chris aside and had a talk with him. Someone who, you know, he's probably worked with before in the industry, you know, a black comedian, you know, Will Smith, very popular in the 90s, Chris Rock, very popular in the 90s. Like, there's no way that they don't have some kind of rapport with each other, that he could have done that. And like I said, Chris Rock could have made a public apology just as big as the joke. Now the whole show has been ruined by this action. His Oscar has a stain on it. The whole night has a stain on it. And he looks unhinged. And the crying and him saying, people think you can, they can just say whatever and you just gotta take it and take it. Nobody's saying it. When do you hear people dragging, say, Leonardo DiCaprio? You don't. When do you hear people dragging, say, Beyonce? You don't. Because they keep their shit private to themselves. You put all your stuff out there when no one's asking for it. People been making fun of y'all since, let's say it past 2 years now. Y'all could have stopped sharing stuff about yourself 2 years ago. Now you're sharing more and more and more. And when the book came out, I remember on the Shade Room, I read this shit all the time. People were roasting him like, why do they keep telling us things? Stop. You're just making yourself look worse and worse. You know, and what about, you know, a couple weeks ago, or when Laverne Cox made the entanglements joke? You know, why when he made the entanglement joke, why didn't Jada slap Laverne Cox in that moment? Like, don't disrespect my husband by bringing up my side piece right in front of me, how come she didn't slap her? Because you don't do those things. You don't do those things. Uncle says she looked more annoyed than hurt. Yeah. C Smart says, I take my hat off to Chris for keeping his cool. Yeah, I agree too. He kept his cool. I could tell he was shaken up. Like he was just kind of like, whoa, what just happened? I don't know what to do. He's really mad at me. Okay, this is humiliating. Like, why you had to do that? And now Chris Rock's life. Chris Rock, this is also on Chris Rock's resume now. That Will Smith slapped him, assaulted him on stage. Like, was it the punishment really worth the crime? Like, do you truly believe that? I don't think so. If anyone does believe it, you're more than welcome to call in. I'm not trying to argue with anybody or anything. You're more than welcome to come in and call in and state your opinion, and I'll listen to you, and you can get it off your chest. But anyway, I'm gonna look and see what Ethan said. Um, uh, Travel says, listen, Chris is gonna have so much jokes off of this now. Sure, but I'm sure he probably rather it didn't happen than it did. Like, that must have been humiliating. Completely. And then it's like, Will Smith is, I don't want people thinking I'm a punk. I don't want people thinking I'm a simp. And then Chris Rock gets hit. He doesn't do anything. And people are going to be like, oh, now you're a punk. You're a simp. So let's look at what Ethan was saying. I hope you guys can see this. So one of his tweets was, normalize attacking comedians that offend you. Half of Twitter this evening. So Mighty Q says, it's not about normalizing it. Thinking you can make fun of someone and not receive a punch in the mouth is where y'all fucked up at. I joke on people too, and I fully understand if a dude wanted to square it with me for it. Doesn't mean it's right, but I understand. Dysfunction. That is dysfunction. That is dysfunction thinking. I want to know if this person was beat as a child. I want to know. I wish there was a poll of how many people that support this violence had their asses whooped as children. I want to know that. I want to know that because I had my ass whooped as a child. And it made me go the complete other way, where it's like absolutely no violence, no hitting, against hitting children, against hitting people, no fighting, nothing like that. Travel says not as bad as y'all making it out to be. C Smart says, I think Will is over. Who's going to hire him to make a movie? The movie may be boycotted so people will take a chance to hire Will. Chris Codling says, welcome to the world of being a man. Mad Art Lang said, how do we call? What is the number? How do we call? Okay, so you can call in. If you look at the top of this chat, you'll see that I have it pinned, a link. So you click that link. You don't have to include video if you don't want. You can just use your audio. But just click that top link and then follow what StreamYard says. And then you'll be able to come and give your opinion. Okay, I think I see Unku about to call in. You have to connect your device. I don't know if it's your microphone or not. Also, this is what happens when you worship celebrities. I ain't worshiping I ain't worshiping number. I ain't worshiping nobody. 1 second. I think Unku's about to connect to come in. But yeah, so okay, let me look back. Let's look back over these chats. So yeah, like oh, that's what I was saying. I want to know how many people were beaten as a child that believe in, violence. You know what I mean? Like I wonder how many people, cuz there's two groups of us that had our asses whooped as children. There's those of us who go the other way and say, absolutely not. Do not put a finger on a child or a person, whatever. And then there's other group of people that perpetuate the violence on down, going back to slavery, beat people into submission, whatever. So, okay. So Ethan said, um, we get it. Okay, so no, next person responded to that and said, we get it. It's a joke. But when the joke gets personal is where the line is crossed. Put yourself in his shoes. He made fun of a serious condition of your wife. What would you do? Everyone might find it funny. How about you? Will should have responded like that? No, but he deserved it. Some Ben Lord says, Ethan, it was a slap. Woods stood up and defended his wife's honor. It wasn't an attack, it was a statement. Billy says, well, comedians have spent oops. Okay. He said, well, comedians have spent the past several years insisting any criticism or negative response to their humor is cancel culture and isn't allowed. So what did they expect? To go on treating everyone else as the subject of a roast they weren't invited to with zero consequences? Nah, dude, that's their job. That is why they're hired to work at the Oscars, is to make jokes, especially make jokes on celebrities, because the Oscars itself is just like one big circle jerk. Like that's literally, it's just them all jerking each other off. Like, we're so great, you're so great, I'm so great. Like that's literally all it is. And then so these comedians are hired to make fun of celebrities so that it doesn't take it so seriously, and also so that a lot of us watching aren't like having surreal moments when we realize how stupid all of this and pointless all of this is. Wait, Madeline, you said you can't see the link. Let me double check. Oh, it should be at the top. You don't see a comment by me that says that's pinned in the chat. It says call in and give your thoughts, and it has a link there. Okay, well, I'll read your comment. So, Travel says, "Listen, I'm from the Caribbean. I was beaten a lot. Lol, I'm not with it like that, but sometimes a little violence is necessary. Like I said, there's two groups of us. I think y'all missing the point that this was about his wife all above all else. I don't agree. I don't think he should have slapped him. Why could them exchanging words after, why could that not have been enough? Okay, we have people calling in. I'm going to add both Unku and Chris to the stream. Can you all just hold 1 second while I read these comments? My own personal opinion was a completely different one. I didn't hear anyone mention. I say that Chris Rock made a documentary, Good Hair, Bad Hair, some years ago about cultural insecurity. So for Chris Rock to say that insult showed, despite him knowing how deeply an insult like that would hurt a black woman, black men mock black women's hair often. Yes, I actually addressed that earlier in the stream at the beginning. So I understand the optics of that. And yeah, I definitely can see and empathize with the optics of a black man making fun of a black woman's hair on international television, right? It's not a good look. Ryan says, what's up, sis? And sent a super chat for $1.99. Thank you so much. What's up? Thank you for tuning in. Madeline says, so I personally felt it was hypocritical for him to insult her that way. It trickles down to little black girls and their confidence gets eroded for common folks who aren't celebrities. I definitely can empathize with that. And see that point of view. So Travel Mango. Okay, so you guys have, oh wait, C Smart says, what's the difference between calling in and writing opinions? So calling in is you can call in and like you're gonna, like, these callers are gonna be able to talk on camera and give their opinion. So Oku, do you want to start and go ahead, say what you think?
Yes, I do. So, hey Liz, hey everyone. Sorry, my camera's not on. I'm actually like wearing a bonnet. The irony
No
of that.
problem. You're fine. You don't have to show yourself, but go
Yeah.
ahead. Let us know what you think about all this crazy stuff.
Yes. Okay. So I honestly like I have a comment that is related to what Madeline is saying. So to me, first of all, I think that Will Smith was a comedian or is a comedian in his own right. So for him to not be able to come up with something that was like a quib to get back at Chris Rock, to me was like, come on, in poor taste. Like it kind of reminds me of like I love Bill Burr, the comedian, and he like a long time ago he had a podcast. I've been listening to this podcast for like 10 years. He had a podcast where he talked about Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar walking off the set of The View when what's his name? Bill O'Reilly said something like crazy or sexist, and he was like, "Come on, Whoopi, like you're a comedian, you should know better than that." That's how I felt. I was like, "Come on, Will Smith, like you're better than that. You know how to like get back." And to me, it's just like, sorry, in low key, it's giving weak. It's giving like out of control.
Unhinged.
Oh, because it's like you were laughing. So like you personally didn't even feel it was that bad. You just saw Jada roll her eyes and then you went and like slapped this man
He
on
was
the
like,
Oscar stage. Like it literally it makes no sense. And honestly, and I have to be completely frank and honest with you that like this black women protection angle, this black women and like hair insecurity, this is cap. It's BS. Like I don't want to curse on your stream, but it is such BS because one, he did not make fun of her hair as a black woman. Like to me, in my opinion, I'm like, come on now. Like even me, like I kind of low key snatched my hairline back like a couple of months ago, so my stuff isn't looking all the way right. And I'm just like, dude, come on. He compared her to G.I. Jane, which is Demi Moore, which is actually a white woman. You know what I mean? It just to me, it's just it's a magnificent stretch because it's like he made fun of. He wasn't even making fun. He was just drawing a comparison. It was kind of weak. It was kind of whatever. But it wasn't a malicious thing. So for people that make it out into this like super malicious thing where like he's this horrible person, it's just to me, it's ridiculous. It's honestly like taking it too far. Like, sorry to rant, but it's just
no, you're good. I wanted to hear the rant.
ridiculous.
You know what I thought of when you said that him as a comedian should get it? I kept thinking of Fresh Prince. And now I watch all these 90s shows, Martin, all them, and I see them with a new eye now, right? I'm watching Fresh Prince, and honestly, borderline makes me uncomfortable how much he ridicules Uncle Phil's weight. Like on a constant basis on the show, almost every few minutes, he is making jokes about how fat this man is, how big he is, how he crushes things, how he's a pig and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like relentless for the entire duration of the show. And I'm like, dude, like you said, Will Smith, he's supposed to be a comedy guy. Now all of a sudden, you know, and like I know the medical condition part plays a role in it, but it's like who could really I don't know. I just feel like I didn't know that. I didn't know she had a condition.
Right.
It's easy, and I feel like like I said, he could have took him aside afterward and told him, dude, this was not okay because this, you're making it look bad, and he could have made an apology, whatever. So let me read some of these real quick, and then we're gonna get to Chris. Not everyone could come up with witty stuff off the top like that. He's not even a practicing comedian.
I'm not a practicing comedian.
He's not, but he always got something to say. He always got something to say. No, we didn't actually see the whole interaction between Will and Jada surrounding the incident. Clearly, she moved him to act. See, and that I don't like either, because now y'all want to talk black women. Now a black woman is being blamed for him going and slapping another black man. I've seen people say that. I saw someone saying that it's so creepy. Like it's like Jada controls him. I'm like, what? Like what? face. You put a gun to his head and say, you better go up there and slap this mother effer. But anyway, so Chris, do you want to jump in and let us know what you think?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm gonna step away, but go ahead.
All right. All right. Let me just start by prefacing that I don't agree with the slap or whatever. It's like a bad display of how to conduct yourself. Like as a man, it's like you don't resort to violence. Like you don't get emotional. It's like you just talk out your things. And if it gets to violence, like let it be known. You don't just come up there and sucker punch somebody or whatever. It's like, no, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight as men, and we're gonna do this. But I think what I want to highlight was that we know about the whole like Jada cheating on Will or whatever, sleeping with her, what is it called, the I guess Jaden's friend or whatever, right? And then we know that like their relationship is public. So like if you wanted to really like make fun of somebody, that's what you would highlight. You wouldn't highlight like, oh, your wife has a bald head or whatever. Like that to me is like, I'm not trying to make anybody like uncomfortable. I'm just trying to just see where I can get a joke. Like if I said something about like, that situation and the entanglement, it's like, okay, now I'm trying to get under your skin. But he didn't do that. He talked about like the wife's hair. And if you watch, like I didn't watch the Oscars, but somebody was playing back like some sequences. Chris Rock wasn't even like hosting the show. The three girls were, I forget their names. What's the girl's name? Like Amy
Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall.
Yes, I think it was Regina Hall. She actually brought up the fact that Jada controls Will, like earlier in the show. And then they both laughed at it. It's not like Jada went up there and slapped her, right? So she laughed at the fact that he was making fun of her husband and saying, "Oh, your husband's weak or whatever. Like he just allows you to sleep and then sleep around with guys and he just stands there and cry and he has to take it, right?" So it's like, and obviously it's not okay to go up there and slap a woman, right? Because he would have got arrested, he would have got whatever. But it's perfectly fine to go up there and slap another man and it's still get an award. Like to me, that was like the biggest craziness. Like you saw somebody get assaulted on your platform, right? Like if I invite Chris Rock to speak, right? And then somebody assaults him, I'm gonna remove the threat of violence.
You're gonna be in, and as a host, as the Oscars, they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Chris Rock said he's not, because he can sue the Oscars and he can sue Will Smith, right, for endangering, like, not providing a safe work environment. He can sue both parties, but he's not going to do that. To me, that's the real man in the situation. And then the thing is, later on, what's his name? Will Smith actually apologized to Chris Rock and he said he had an emotional outburst. And he admitted that it was an emotional response. But I don't know, people like, I know a lot of girls that I follow, they're like, oh, it's so masculine. I'm like, it's not like to lose your lose control of your emotions. That's like the farthest thing from masculine. Like you don't want somebody to just act off like, oh, let me go slap this guy. Let me go, hit this guy or whatever. It's just like, you guys don't know what masculinity is at all.
Right. And especially in the context of like, he was laughing. So it's not even an idea that came from his own mind. He only changed because he saw Jada's reaction. And honestly, like as a husband, like I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad husband because he empathized or he stood behind his wife. Like, no, I would never say that. But to do a 180 in what you thought was funny, like you can address it to the side. And like you said, to be a man is to have command of your surroundings and have command of your emotions. Like you use violence when the situation calls for violence, not because your feelings got hurt or someone said something to offend you. Like people can say what they want to say. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is still America. People can say what they want as long as they don't threaten you.
And what is it? Is it like, oh, you have disrespected my lady. Now I must challenge you to a duel. Like,
even that's more honorable. It's like, okay, let's go out there and we're gonna defend, the honor. But it's like Jada has no honor at this point. Like she literally like slept with the guy and then humiliated her husband, right? And she's just like, oh,
are you with the camp that think that Will Smith is a cuck, basically?
I mean, at this point, it's like it's kind of hard because our society kind of puts like I guess I guess victimhood first, right? Because think about how she phrased the question. She said, oh, it was an entanglement. Like, you weren't there, like I wasn't being, my emotional needs weren't being met and whatever. So it's almost like Will Smith is the one that's wrong why she cheated, right? So
But like, are you familiar with people, not the rumor, it's the truth that they've been in an open relationship for like decades now, Are
well,
you
what from
familiar
what
with
I
that?
from what I heard was Jada was the one who brought it up to Will to be in an open relationship. Like he wasn't really, he wasn't really about that life. Because if you guys look at Will Smith, like way back in like the 90s, because I'm a little bit older. I was born in the 80s. Way back in the 90s, he was on this whole kick like, oh, I'm a goody two shoes. Like I don't rap, I don't swear in my
Yeah.
rap songs. Like I want to live a wholesome life, right? Now, if you look at him, he's completely different. Like he's cussing, he's doing all sorts of stuff that he probably would have never saw himself doing or 20 years from now, right? So like I have a feeling that like Jada's from a different like path because she was in love with Tupac, so she kind of likes the gangster type of guy. So she has a certain vibe to him, to her, that he doesn't really have. So I feel like her way of thinking and her lifestyle kind of forced Will Smith to become a part of what she was going on, and maybe he feels like he doesn't really have control over like the marriage and like how she like humiliates him and stuff like that. So this is like his last ditch attempt to display some sort of masculinity. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I definitely, I was saying that earlier, that I feel like this is him kind of clapping back at all the people that been roasting him, the Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, like
Hmm.
people, the black blogs for sure, been roasting him for a while about, all the stuff with Jada and whatnot. And as to what you were saying about him being different, like and cussing now and stuff like that, I was saying that, over the time of like celebrities' careers and stuff, they look for different ways to revive their career or
Hmm.
to have a different image and stuff like that. Like you'll notice it even with the young ones. Like they'll be a Disney star, right? And then
Yeah.
when they're ready to make more money, all of a sudden they have I call it their sexual debut.
Hmm.
And so the sexual debut, for a lot of music, especially young girls, they obviously a lot of songs about sex. They might be openly doing drugs, smoking, whatever, to try and scrub that image. And even some of these celebrities now with the social justice warriorism,
Hmm.
all of a sudden now they're worried about their legacy and the impact and stuff like that. So now they're like trying to do this kind of stuff in that range. And that might be what he's doing. Like he's, trying to show I'm not a simp, I'm not a cuck,
Hmm.
and
But
I'm a
that's a
show. I'm
stressful
gonna
life,
show
though.
him, right? But it's like
Yeah.
you're not a tough guy for slapping Chris Rock.
Hmm.
Like Chris Rock is like like you're not
Yeah,
a
like
tough guy.
if he slapped Dwayne the Rock Johnson or something like that, I'd be like, okay, right? But it's like a comedian who's paid to like make fun of people in the audience, right? So it's
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know,
And I'm not sure how much long you were here before, but I was saying like if it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon up there, he wouldn't have slapped one of them.
he wouldn't have
You
slapped
know
them
what I mean? Or
because
if
Chris
it
Rock
was
was on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air back in the day, so they
yeah,
know
oh
each
yeah,
other, right?
yeah, that's right. He was,
Contemporaries.
he was. Or
Yeah,
like Martin Lawrence,
yeah.
or like I was saying Mike Epps, or Dion Cole. He ain't gonna
Hmm.
slap Dion Cole up there, making jokes like it would have been on and popping, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? I mean, obviously Cat Williams would never host Oscars, but could
Yeah.
you imagine if he tried to slap Cat Williams? Oh hell no, it would
I feel
be
like even Kevin Hart wouldn't have took it like that. He would have probably slapped him
oh
back,
yeah,
punched
yeah,
him back.
it would have been
Yeah,
crazy. I'm trying to think of there was someone that hit somebody. Is it a comedian?
I know
But
DC
anyway,
Young Fly did that. He fought somebody when he
there's
was doing.
other artists,
Hmm.
whatever that yeah, that one of Fly.
Hmm.
So he definitely chose the right one.
Yeah, he
Um
chose violence definitely.
yeah.
I just
um
think like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna read. Just let me read a couple of these comments. Madeline says, "So to be honest, maybe I reacted with hurt because I never healed from being constantly made fun of. That's true talk. Maybe how I'm reacting is my own trauma. Yeah, sometimes, I think all of us Black women and mixed women can relate to the hair struggle, right? Obviously, black hair, the kinkier it is, the coarser texture, it gets made fun of more. It's, you got to hide it, you got to straighten it, you got to do all these things. So like I definitely the optics, like I said, is bad. Like I definitely can see the black man making fun of black woman hair. I definitely see that, but I just felt like it could have been handled differently. C Smart says, I guess we'll never heard the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Travel said, he literally said, keep my wife's name out your mouth. How y'all not seeing that was about his wife? Yeah, we know it's about his wife, but we still don't think he should have slapped.
Right.
That's just the whole point. Filter. He said, the thing is, just because he said it's about his wife doesn't mean that all that other stuff isn't behind it, especially because when he went up and had his acceptance speech, he was up there crying, crocodile tears, talking about people want you. People think just because you're a celebrity, they can say anything to you and you're just going to take it and take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to fight back.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
He said people, but he only slapped one person. He's addressing all these people, but he slapped one person.
Exactly.
I tell you. I mean, come on now. Critical.
Vern Cox said, "Oh, hopefully no more entanglements or some shit like that." How come he didn't slap her in that
exactly?
Damn well.
Because you know who you can slap and who you can't.
Right.
Colleen is saying, C-Smart saying, go ahead, Chris, sue. He's not going to sue. I didn't think he was going to press charges. I mean, I don't even think he should press charges. That's just like, you just take the L, take the hit, and keep it moving, not going through all that. I can't handle black man jokes about black women because I endured trauma insults from them. I never healed from it. Ex-boyfriends telling me my natural hair was ugly, too short, unfeminine. Yes, I know. Listen, I've heard these stories. I've read it in comments. I've read it thousands. It's real. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's very true.
But I was just gonna say, like that like when I watched it as a black man, like the hair thing didn't even cross my mind. I just thought it was like a bald thing because it's like, how many dudes are bald? Like a lot of dudes are bald, but they don't really consider it like what do you call it? I guess she said it was what was the word she used? Like not a I guess a disease or whatever.
Alopecia?
Yeah, it's like she was saying it's a disease. I'm like, there are plenty of bald people, especially guys, they don't walk around like it's a disease, right? So if you see yourself as like being bald as having a disease, now you're putting yourself in a victim mindset.
That's different. It's actually it's actually like medical. So like there's male pattern baldness, which is like over time you have like the miniaturization of like your hair follicles, right? But then like actual alopecia, like balding, alopecia areata, that is actually an autoimmune disorder. It's literally a disease, but it only affects the hair. So it's like having psoriasis or rosacea. That's about the equivalent of it. It is a disease. Like, but
doesn't her mother also have short hair? I thought it was just like, see, and that's the thing. Like, I just thought it was something that all three. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's the whole thing.
Like Willow has short hair, she has short hair, her mother has short hair. So I'm just thinking it's a look that the family has. As Chris Rock, I'm not going in there like, oh, she has a disease or whatever. I'm thinking the best of it. Like, they just have short hair. They just cut their hair short. So I don't think it's something malicious like, oh, look at her hair. Black women can't grow long hair or whatever. It's just like, I don't think Chris Rock sided that as all at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, Madeline just joined the chat. I'm reading your chats, and I personally agree with a lot of stuff you're saying about there's double standards that, when male celebrities or men in general cheat, it's like, okay, you need to y'all have family, take him back, whatever. But the fact that Jada, they're in a open relationship, and I wouldn't even say it's cheating, but she's sleeping around and it's public knowledge. And now it's like, oh, Will Smith is a simp. She's a hoe. You're a cuck. Did I say simp? Yeah, you're a simp. You're a loser. You know what I mean? And
yeah, because I think it's like he wasn't really expecting, because I never saw the episode of Red Table Talk, but like how it was displayed was like she was telling him the first time, like, I cheated on you, and it is like almost like a shock to him. Like, oh, this was really going on. So it's kind of weird that they would even put that on TV for the world to see.
Yeah. Madeline, do you want to chime in and say what you think?
Can you hear me?
Or Phoenix? Yeah.
Oh, you
Phoenix.
can hear me? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
How
I
are
mean,
you? First of all, how are you, Madeline? Long
I know
time.
it's been a long time,
Okay,
long
so
time.
y'all, Madeline and I used to go to middle school and high school together. This is hilarious that she's tuning into my live show on YouTube.
I know. I think it's been a decade. Because I was teaching.
I don't think I've spoken to you since like Voices Speaking in 14 years, since 2008.
Yeah, I was tutoring Spanish, and you were teaching me like Asian languages, like Chinese, Japanese, Korean. Yeah, we went to the ESL class together.
Yes,
Well,
all that
we're
stuff,
language
all that
sisters.
stuff. Yes. So tell us your opinion. Like, give us some more insight on how you feel about this whole thing.
So as you guys kept making your points, which they are really good points, they are. I actually realized this is a projection of my trauma. Which again it is hard to admit to those things, but I'm telling you, when you get dogged out about your natural body, whether it's your curves, your hair, whatever, like, you know, a lot of Black women endure that in school, and to even have romantic partners tell you like your hair's ugly, your body's ugly, I don't like it, you don't even look like a woman, like, just to have it over and over and over again, it's really hard not to get super angry and bitter about it. Like, you it's like with Black women who wear weaves, right? They get made fun of. But some of them wear them because the video vixens wear weaves, and those are the girls that there'll be Black guys who chase after them. Then you have the Black guys who want the natural hair girl. Like, I want a natural. But the thing is, even in the natural hair community, there's texturism. So they want a looser, longer
with Black
curl.
women, you can never do the right thing.
Exactly.
Even I had an ex tell me, like, I like your hair, but I prefer like a looser, longer curl. Like it's short and it's tightly coiled. So it's like, even when you see the natural hair movement and who reps them, it started off good. But like 4C is almost never seen. And it's like, what, you know, the looser type, the lighter type, it's like we elevate whiter versions of Blackness all the time in our media and the rap videos and who people prefer to date. It's like, I had a Hispanic friend ask me, what's a red bone? Because they were listening to our music and they were like, they say that all the time. What is a red bone? I explained to her what that means. And I said, that's the preference, right? So it's like we're seeing colorism, texturism, and there's another ism I can't remember, but it's just like we keep saying you have to be a particular kind of Black woman to be desirable. So it's really hard to not have a trauma response to project that pain in situations like these, because I'm not Will Smith. I don't know what was going through his mind. I'm not Jada. I'm not Chris Rock. You know, these are completely separate people living their own separate lives. And yeah, I had a trauma response and I projected. And that's inappropriate. That, you know, tends to lead to violence, right? If you have unresolved trauma, you don't heal. And so, of course, I was on my social media like, oh, yeah, he should have slapped him several times. You know, because that was me getting mad. Like, well, I would have wanted to slap the people who were, like, yanking my braids in school and making fun, like, because I was angry and I couldn't lash out. Like, that's me being upset about what happened to me. And it's important to recognize those things. Like, I'm working on it, you know, but I'm still, like, I'm 31. I'm still salty about, I can still remember getting fresh braids and you know your head already hurts and is sore, like migraines and stuff.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to hide my hair, pull it back because it looks not kept right now.
Right. And so I come to school
back and I put a headband to cover so y'all can't see.
I came to school, fresh braids, mind you, already in pain, head throbbing, right? And the white kids, they would yank it like I was a zoo animal. Like they didn't understand it. I was one of the only girls that had not only braids but colored braids. Like this was one that wasn't popular. I remember I had
Yeah,
purple, pink, yellow,
I remember
the
that.
whole rainbow, right? That it was a freak of nature. Like they never seen nothing like that. It was ethnic
Yeah.
and alternative.
Sound like my cousin Melanie's actually like that too. She was wearing all the colors before
Mhm.
Nicki Minaj came out and started wearing the colors, and
Mhm.
everyone started wearing the color hair and the wigs and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. But I'd
yeah,
have my hair grabbed a lot, grabbed, yanked, pulled, touched without my consent all
yeah.
the time through
I
high
think
school.
it's we all have our own things that we've gone through. And good night, Travel Mango Media. Thank you for participating in the chat. Love to hear you. If you have a differentiating opinion, you're always welcome to come and chat. Love it. No hard feelings. Have a good night. But yeah, it's natural. It's a natural human to have have a different reaction. And you know what? When I heard everything that happened, I had my own opinion based off my opinions. But when I saw someone bring up that, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, you know what? There is another side to this that you can see it from. I personally
Mhm.
don't think that Chris Rock was that deep with it,
Yeah, he probably
because
didn't mean
he
it
was
that
he
way.
compared her yeah, he compared her to Demi Moore,
G.I.
who was
Jane.
beautiful, and she's a white woman. I can tell
Right,
if
right,
he would have
right.
said that she looked like a Cabbage Patch doll, or she was
Right, or
or
slightly
compare or
loud or
maybe
something like
compared
that.
her to a man, or maybe compared her to a man or
Man,
something
Yeah.
like
yeah.
that. Then it would have been like,
Whoa.
also too, I'm like, but then also there might be some level underneath that like, okay, you need to make fun of Will and Jada. Obviously, we know it's a big
Mhm.
night for them. Why did you go for Jada's hair?
Mhm.
Instead of finding something else to make fun of, which I'm sure obviously the possibilities are endless with those two. But
And I told I tell people, I don't really like most comedy. I purposely do not watch things that I know will be a trigger for me, because I said, like, how people debate, like it's a free for all, you can make jokes about anything, but then
yeah,
there's the party that says, there's certain things like off limits, right? So like rape jokes. I
Mhm.
can't listen to rape jokes because I'm a victim and survivor of sexual assault. So that's a trigger for me. I purposely avoid
yeah,
listening to dark humor stuff because I can't handle it. I'll be
yeah,
triggered. And they love to go on triggered snowflakes,
yeah,
and it's like, well, yeah, I am a triggered snowflake. It was a
yeah.
terrible experience, and I
Not
haven't
gonna lie,
healed
I
from
have
it
been one
yet.
of those people that have pointed and said triggered snowflake.
I mean, I think everyone has good points, right?
Yeah,
Everyone has perspective. We all live different lives. It's just, the thing is, here's the thing. If I say I don't want to watch a comedy special, and a friend says to me, well, why not? And I say, because I can't handle it. I
Mhm.
know I'll get offended. I know I'll get triggered. I know I can't. And then they keep pushing, like, well, you should be able to handle it. Like, that's when I feel the lines being crossed, because it's like, so I'm literally telling you what I can and cannot handle, what I do get offended by, what does trigger me, and I'm purposely avoiding it. And you're saying, no, 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 you should be able to handle every single joke, and words, they're just words, right?
well,
Words should not affect you
I
that
personally
way.
would say not every
Yeah.
single joke, but I just
Mhm.
feel like the world is crazy, is horrible. The
Mhm.
history is ugly, and the
Mhm.
Yeah.
future is ugly. The present is ugly, and I just think for each person's individual happiness, because I get triggered too. Like, trust me, I
Yeah.
talk about my mental health all hit time here on
Mhm.
this channel. But for my own sanity, I had to, let's say, go to therapy, talk these
Mhm.
issues out with people that understand and people that get it, so
Mhm.
that so that I can move out the world without being
Yeah.
You're right,
I
right,
mean, like,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
because something
like,
can come up in a movie or across your screen,
Mhm.
you know,
right.
you know what I
But I
mean?
mean,
Yeah.
Liz, I agree.
Go
Like,
ahead,
Mad-
Uncle, yeah.
yeah, sorry, like Madeline, like I really appreciate your perspective, because, like, even reflecting on myself, to be
Yeah.
honest. So the thing is, like, anyone that knows me, like in person and stuff, I'm actually like a very like bubbly, talkative, like kind person. But like,
Mhm.
to be frank with you, like I don't get offended by a lot of stuff. You
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I feel like it sounds kind of messed up, but like some of the things that I think and like the jokes I say in my own head, I'm like, man, if people like kind of knew me,
I know. I know.
Yo, if these people knew what I was thinking, they'd be like, who the
It's bad. I should be in jail.
Right. Who the hell are we sitting next to?
I mean, it's not that I don't like laugh at like things I shouldn't. Like, I think today I explained to a friend of mine who's not black what the term nigga dactyl means. Like that because it's floating around on memes, right? Like it's a pterodactyl, but it's a right. I was explaining what a hotep and a hoteptress what like you know, and the black Hebrew Israelites and just all these things like people outside our community are not aware of. Like
I had to explain I had to explain hobosexual to somebody.
Like that's funny. I mean, like, okay, so like, but my point in like saying that though is like, yeah, like sometimes I need to hear that perspective of someone that like isn't so like, I guess not like things don't that are a little bit like more sensitive because like it makes sense. And I mean, I grew up in a family where like we would roast each other like like, and it was not even like sometimes like one time my brother was wearing a wife beater, like a white t-shirt, and he has a bald head. And I said, "Oh, they're looking like Homer Simpson." He mistook to think that I was calling him overweight, and he said,
"Oh no!"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you've been looking like a beach ball lately," and I burst out laughing. And it's like, okay, yeah, I did put on weight. Like, I don't look like a beach ball, but like, I was like, okay, that was a good quib to come back.
I make jokes like that too.
Think about it, right? But like, it's just like. To me, though, like I think it's good to know your limits. I guess. My only issue is like sometimes people that are a little bit more easily offended when they try and do a campaign against other people. Like if there's some things I don't like that I don't watch. Like there's a lot of people talking about racist stuff on YouTube, like all kinds of stuff, and I just avoid it if I don't like. I just don't want to go there, and it's not even about me. Like, oh, I can't handle it. It's just like I choose not to expose myself to certain.
Yeah, I had to stop watching the reviews of women imitating the alpha male channels because I kept but like first it was funny the first 5 minutes, right? LOL, this is so ridiculous. But as I'm listening to the things they're saying, like women aren't human, women shouldn't be sexual unless it's with me, women are property. Like as they're 10 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like it's like you start to wait a minute. I remember like certain experience like it's not so funny anymore. Like
I actually love the women review and making fun. I love those. I can watch those all day.
Yeah,
but
I can do like 5 minutes tops.
I can't watch the originals because the originals do trigger me too much.
Right. Because they're serious. They mean it.
So the thing is like right, so that's like a perfect example because like even like some of these MGTOW channels, I watch it to get a laugh just because it's so outrageous. Like it doesn't trigger me. It's just like it's more hilarious than anything. Like wow, a person could actually say this. Like
see, could I say something about that? All right, so. Okay, so like that's the interesting thing about like men versus women because I guess like you guys will watch the MGTOW ones and the red pill ones and then you'll get triggered, but then I'll watch like what's it called what's the show like maybe not even The View, like something more mainstream like what's the podcast with the girls and they talk about sex all the time.
Call Her Dad, is it?
Call Her Daddy, like all those ones, right? I would watch that and I would get so cheesed because I'm like, what the hell are these girls talking about? He's like, oh, if you don't buy me, if you split the bill, we're done, or if you don't have this much money. So it's like on both, so that's the thing. On both sides, like girls can watch what guys like say they want and then get triggered, and I'll watch what girls want and I'll be like, oh, this is so crazy that girls think this way. So I guess it's kind of interesting.
They're too annoying. Like the only thing I want to go back to what you were saying. I think Uncle said something about campaigning. That's something that also that does. I'm also too. I would say I'm not sensitive. I'm sensitive when it comes to like my family stuff, friend stuff, but like all this other stuff in the world is like, I'm just like I have the worst, grossest, awful like sense of humor, just the dirtiest, grungiest, like fucked up stuff, you know,
Mhm.
I find funny. But I hate when I just don't like when they go on campaigns to stop
Mhm.
stuff and then they ruin it for everybody.
Right.
Like if they
Yeah.
try, like them trying to get Dave Chappelle, you know,
Canceled,
off,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
off of the air, and it's
Netflix.
like,
Yeah.
then what the heck, like, okay, you know, then the
Yeah.
rest of us, you know, and obviously, I'm really a big thing about free speech. Like, I feel like bad speech should be said because then it can be corrected. When
Yeah.
you tell people they can't say certain things, you know, it doesn't disappear. It just goes underground, and that's
Right.
Yeah.
when, you know,
And
I
it
feel
gets
like,
worse.
yeah, but I do feel that we are getting a little off topic. So let's
Right.
bring it back.
I can bring it back with this though,
Yes, go ahead.
because if you think, have you guys seen the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like the remake?
I haven't.
I
Everybody
heard
keeps
it's
telling me.
SJW though.
Okay,
Everybody
but that's
keeps talking
so.
about it.
So take this in though. So like if you watch the old '90s one, you know it's meant for comedy. It's like you're just laughing, right? Maybe once in a blue moon they'll touch on sensitive topics, but in this new one, it's all about those sensitive topics. So it's almost like they looked at the old Fresh Prince and they're like, okay, the episode where they got pulled over by the cops, we need to highlight that one. The episode where Carlton got high, we need to highlight that. Like, and then now it's like there's barely any comedy in it, and it's like, are we entering in a world where we'd rather focus on like, you know, trauma and drama, where like back in the 90s, like I remember growing up, we used to say stuff all the time, like it doesn't matter like who we were with, we would just like say something and then we'd laugh and they say something back to us and then we'd laugh and we just have like a good time just laughing. Nowadays, like everybody's so sensitive that it's to the point where it's like, okay, so what are we allowed to say? Like, can we even make jokes anymore? Because that's what we're being told, that like there's like a line and we've pretty much crossed over that line where it's like everything is off limits. You can't like say something that you might think it's funny or yeah.
Right. I mean, Chris, I agree with you. Just to interject quickly, like I was even thinking about this the other day. Like my whole life, like I hate to say it like this, my whole life I've been funny, but like no.
Say it, girl, own it.
I've always like made jokes and been like kind of like a clown. Like it just like something innocuous would happen. I would just have like some comment, right, to make people laugh. But lately I've been thinking, I'm like, man, maybe I should cut that out a little bit, because it's like, okay, one, you're getting older, so people may not think it's as serious, take you as seriously. But also like the line of what is funny and what isn't, it's like, it's getting really, really tight. So it's like, even if I make jokes now, I kind of make myself the butt of the joke. Like I don't really make other people the butt of the joke, or like I'll comment on a situation, but I don't even comment on other people, like even friends, because it's like you don't know where anyone like feels. Like if someone roasts me and it's good, like I'll laugh. Like I don't care. I have humor about it. But like you don't know where other people are coming from, so I just kind of like I don't even play with that anymore.
But I wonder if that's contributing to like the rise in like mental health and depression in our society. It's like, if we're taking away what is funny, then how can people actually truly be happy with their lives if it's like everything is serious and I need to like focus on like the stuff that's traumatic and stuff like that, instead of focusing on like things that are funny, things that give us like happy thoughts, right? If we're always on this whole like, you know, everybody's out to get me, you know, it's like we're never going to be happy.
I think it's about balance. Like I have a good example of, how do I put this? Certain groups being able to make jokes and that's fine, but then when the other group makes it, it's not fine. So here's an example. I am a pastor's daughter. I grew up in Christianity. I now identify as an ex-Christian and a spiritual. So we're talking, you know, the crystals, chakras, rocks, all that stuff. Cool. When I was Christian and I was talking to friends that were into the spiritual community, I said, you know, I kind of made fun. Like, they're just rocks. I don't feel nothing when I hold this. It doesn't have energy. It's a rock. You know, and they were offended, right? But if they were to make fun of, you know, anything in Christianity, well, you need to respect my faith. That's my faith, though. That's my God, right? And I'll let you know, as a resident queer, there's this joke we like to say, Jesus had two dads, God and Joseph. It really drives homophobes crazy. But anyway, so what I'm trying to get at, yeah, we love to say it all the time, but what I like to get at is that it's like, if you're in power, you know, there was that discussion with Dave Chappelle, like punching down, right? It's like, if you're in power, then are you allowed as a black man to make jokes about black women? And it's kind of like, well, it's kind of a gray area, right? Because if you look at the majority of like who people are being made fun of in comedy, I personally feel there are a lot of black male comedians that tend to, of all the topics
much.
they could make fun of all the jokes they could make, they
Yeah.
tend to,
It's
you know,
too
that's
much.
like their back
It's
their
an
back
entire
burner
genre
joke.
of comedy to make of
Yeah.
to make fun
Yeah,
of black women.
yeah. Like
Right.
Watermelon Drea by Trey Melvin, which he apologized for.
So
You
many
would see all these
movies.
YouTubers, yeah, or
The
Norbit.
The sex
Yep.
couplets, Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy, whatever Eddie Murphy dressed as black women, Tyler Perry, like
Right.
Remember when White Chicks
it's a
came out?
genre of comedy.
Yeah.
When White Chicks came out, it was not a big deal then because it was the early 2000s. But about a decade later, when people were analyzing stuff later, it was like, this is offensive to white women, or Karen being considered a slur. When people found out about Becky, which has been around since the 80s, I had to explain Becky to the white friends. It's a noun and a verb. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, well, y'all know what it is, you know, but I'm just saying, like, we've been knew about this stuff. We've been making fun of y'all, been making jokes. And now that you're aware of the jokes we've been making for decades, now it's a problem. And it's kind of like, well, in a moral sense, in an ethical sense, is it okay for people who are considered underprivileged and oppressed by society to make fun of the people in power, and vice versa? Like, I don't know the answer to that question, because that's like an ethics question. Who gets to make fun of who?
I think to me
personally
though,
think
I don't think that that's even like a question though, because it's
equal
like
opportunity
people can say what
roast.
they want.
Equal opportunity roasting.
Right.
Should be.
People can say whatever they want.
Isn't
you know,
that
as long
that's
as
true?
it's not
That's true equality.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, they and like, to be honest with you, and this goes back to Liz's like comment about like, oh, silencing stupidity, it just makes it go underground. You think these, you know, so-called powerful PC, SJW, whatever white
Yeah.
people don't have their things to say about black people? You think they don't have
Yeah.
like, what the hell is on her head? Like,
Yeah.
that wig looks like a muskrat. You know,
Yeah,
whatever. Who cares? You know? So I'm not trying to be triggered. I'm just saying, like,
No, yeah.
everybody has
all kinds of stuff.
stereotypes. Everybody has, you know, inner racism. Like, it's just natural that you're gonna think things about people, whatever. It's just like, that's just a natural thing. And like, yeah, it sucks because like a lot of us on YouTube, you know, it's a big topic of like the censorship now because of certain things. Like, you can't say certain things. Like, even earlier I couldn't even say, I'll just say it now. I was trying to say sexual pleasure and I couldn't even say that because you know, and I have a, like I said, a raunchy sense of humor, and I do hold back with some of the jokes I want to make. I'm just like, okay, because I don't want YouTube or to get reported, or maybe someone make a compilation of me saying crazy shit.
But that's interesting though.
I got flagged on Facebook because I had a meme posted of a woman with her head on train tracks. Like, she was just laying down on the train tracks, and it said, "Another day being attracted to heterosexual men." And I got flagged. No, but I got flagged. I could not post. I couldn't go live for a month.
She wants to kill herself because she was.
Yeah, because it was a reference to suicide. Yeah, so that's why I got flagged, because she was laying on the train tracks. Like, I can't do it no more.
That's funny.
Wait, let me have you know, I posted that a year ago. I posted a year ago, and I couldn't go live.
That's a good one. Madeline, send me that if you have it.
I will, but like, I couldn't go live for a month because it was a post I made a year ago, and they marked me for that because it was like hate speech and suicide reference.
There was probably
like
some man that
reported
he got triggered and he reported.
Hey,
that's what people. But that's the thing. People are so female dog made these days that they will just drag, like, they'll look into your post history 3 years and then like use that to take you down. And I'm just like, get a life. Like, get a sense of humor, get a pet, get a life, and move on. Like,
but
go ahead,
I'll just say, I also don't want to live in a world where we have to try to outdo each other's oppression. It's like, oh, well, you're that. Well,
Right.
I'm this, and it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, but none of us are happy trying to focus on who's more oppressed, right? So it's like, what are we really?
Exactly.
Yeah, like what are we really doing here? And then who gets to decide what hate speech really is? It's like, as somebody, because how jokes work is it's just your turn to be offended. Everybody's gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
But then when it's your turn, it's like, okay, no, I gotta slap this guy. It's just like, no, like every year,
Yeah.
every year somebody get, like, even I think it was the one where Ricky Gervais was doing it, right? Like he was saying some wild stuff.
He gave a
Yeah.
good one. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. He had a good roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody got up there and did anything to him, and which is like, now it's a moment where it's like, oh, what he was saying, there's some truth in it, and you can laugh about it and then move on, right? But like,
Yeah.
when you set the precedent that, like, if somebody on stage says something that you don't like and you're allowed to go up there and slap them, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, who's really gonna do the Oscars? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, if I'm a comedian, I'm like, nah, screw that. You guys didn't even protect him. You didn't even say, you didn't condemn Will for what he did. It's just like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I used to tell my dad that his robe was technically a dress to trigger him. Like, I purposely said that to piss him off because he gets so upset. He's like, it's a robe. It's
Yeah.
a robe. And there were people in the congregation, like little kids, would say, oh, I didn't recognize you, pastor, because you weren't in your dress. And you'd see his face get just pissed off. And I was like, it's the same thing, Dad. It's a piece of cloth, robe, dress, the same thing. He went and looked up in the dictionary to prove to me that they're not the
Oh my
same. Hashtag fragile
We call that
masculinity.
toxic masculinity right there.
I said that wrestlers were wearing man panties. He hated when I said that. That they're clothes, like they're wearing man panties. He was like, they're not panties, they're wrestling clothes. They're man panties. Action figures are dolls for boys. Like, it just, you know. So I've done it.
You guys were saying about bringing up stuff from the past. Like, I really dislike how, and I'm gonna bring this back around to Will too. I really dislike how I don't think it's fair to look at the past with the modern lens. Of course,
Yeah.
you do to learn things, but like the 2000s, the 90s, 70s, whatever, early 2010s was raw, man. Like, we just said anything, and like, I don't understand why people cannot see how people can like grow and change their mind over time.
Right.
Like,
I used to be a slut shamer, but that's because I grew up in religion. Like, purity culture tells you that women who are sexually active are less worthy, less of value. Chewed gum. Like, I was taught that in abstinence class over and over.
I didn't grow up in that same purity culture, but I had the same thing, and I even have some homophobia in my family as well. I used to just go along with what they said, and then now I'm the person who's, when someone says something, I'm like, oh man, that's stupid. Like who cares? Like, why do you care? Why are you worried about someone? Like, why? Like, I'm the opposite voice of saying, like, who cares with that? But like I told you guys, I watch 90 shows nonstop. Like, I'm obsessed with them. They give me comfort. They help me go to sleep at night, and they play them on VH1, BT, Living Single, Fresh Prince, Martin, whatever. And I do plan to do a deep dive analysis on these shows on the channel.
Yeah.
But I've been watching back Fresh Prince, and honestly, I feel like Fresh Prince is one of the worst offenders.
Oh yeah,
all of them, because Will in the show, he's a male chauvinist, big, sexual deviant, very hypocritical. He treats women like sluts, like their bodies is just,
except Ashley, though, right? Except Ashley, his little cousin.
Virginal. Ashley is the virgin. He treats Carlton like crap just because he talks differently, whatever.
Right.
Short.
He acts white. That's always his whole thing.
He ridicules Uncle Phil nonstop for his weight. Like, everything, like 10 times an episode.
Every episode, there's a quib
fat
about
joke.
his weight. Yeah,
his weight. He crushes things. He stomps things. He's a pig.
Right.
He eats everything. His ass will just just knock you down if he walks near you, like, just like constant, like he was just such an asshole. I'm just like, he's such a dick on this show. And
Yeah.
look at Martin too. Martin is
Oh God,
Martin, but
yeah.
he's
I
funny
can't
as
do
hell.
Martin. I
Martin is a
can't.
dusty. Martin
But-
is a dusty as hell. We're gonna talk about that when I do my analysis, okay? Martin is
Oh, I'm
full of
waiting for that
dusties.
one.
Tommy, Cole, Martin, all of them is dusty. But anyway, we don't have to go into that.
I love living single, by the way, because they weren't married. And see, I'm in my 30s and I'm not married, but most of my friends are. So it was like, hey,
Living Single
some of
was
us
very
aren't.
progressive, very progressive
Yeah,
show.
some of us aren't married. Some of us don't want to be married. Some of us are single in our 30s, and that's not bad. Like,
Liz, what do you think of people? I've always heard people. I've never watched Friends, so I can't even make this comparison. But people said that Friends was ripping off Living Single.
Yes, it did, because Living Single came out first, and they were
Right.
like, they obviously, you can also see too when you watch Living Single Friends, there's a large budget difference too.
Right.
But
right.
Living Single came out, and they were like, oh, let's make a white version, and then that's how
Blew
Friends
up.
ended up coming about. And then I think I remember like a year or two ago, one of the cast members from Friends was like,
That's
we
like
live in a society, Friends was such a a
Like
famous show.
pioneering,
There
whatever.
should be a black version of the show. Why isn't there a black version? And people were like,
No.
Living Single, which came out first, you mother effer. Like, so
Wow.
Not to
yeah.
mention, Friends is in New York, which is very diverse. So
yeah, and
it was like, where
Living
it's
Single
not
is
homogenous.
also in New York as well, and in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So
Yo, you guys, I was gonna say this one thing.
go
So
ahead,
I'm on my Facebook, and then the whole like Will and Jada thing is just kind of like exposing the hypocrisy of certain people that I know their real lives and what they're really saying. So like, there's this one guy that I follow. Well, actually, he's a friend of mine. I guess he cheated on his wife, and and she left him and stuff, like, she posted this whole thing. But then he's here posting now on Facebook like, oh, the people that don't want to defend this woman will never wake up to a face like this. And he's like, oh, he would defend her. I'm like, you cheated on your wife with the girls in the church. Like, I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's the hypocrisy that I don't understand. It's like, you come on, man.
But that's how people do. They posture all. I had a friend that, her husband stepped out on her, and he was the one pressuring her to have a kid. And this dude is on like dating apps. This is what people do.
I've got one richer.
Facebook is live.
I've got one richer.
Crazy shit go down on Facebook, man.
My homophobic grandfather defended the pedophile priest in the Catholic Church. Oh, and my dad said to him, what if they had done it to, like, your nephew? And then it was, oh, well, that would be wrong, because it's someone right? Like, as long as it's random people you don't know, you're separate from the issue. So, and it was just like, so let me get this straight. Gay people are abominations to you, and I'm queer living here with him. And I said to a family member, I'm uncomfortable living here because I know how he feels, and I can't tell him. They said, well, it's his house, though. And I was like, so it's okay to be a bigot because it's his house. Well, it's his house. I tried to go out on my own, live as I wanted, ran out of money, had to come back here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, I struggle with like religious trauma. And even though we have religious freedom, if it's not Christian and they're fighting for Christian Sharia law in this country, all other faiths are not treated with the same level of respect. So,
I mean, I grew up Muslim, so I mean, you can imagine in America, especially post 9/11, like, crazy stuff people were saying. But because I'm Black, they don't see Islam as a religion; they see it as a race. So when you're Black, and you just hear the crazy stuff people say, so like, I definitely can empathize with that one.
I want to read some of these tweets on here. Okay, so I typed in, so last night Good for Will was trending, so Catrice says y'all are saying Good for Will like he wasn't laughing at the joke himself.
Period.
Nick Hawthorne says, terrible take. Will doesn't need any more accolades. He remained committed to his wife in marriage after a public affair. I have no qualms with his actions. Good for Will. Teddy says, honestly, good for Will Smith. If someone made a joke about something I wasn't sensitive about at the Oscars, I would hope my man would punch them too.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I don't think you can claim to be like strong and independent, but then be like, yo, husband, go over there and slap that guy for me.
Well,
Like,
I get that, but like we don't know these people. We don't know if they're actually like on the strong independent train. Like,
True.
So, I mean, I
Hold
wouldn't.
on, can we look at
want
this?
it. But sorry, go ahead.
I cannot find the full speech. I wanted to hear his drivel, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
oh, it was something to the effect. I think he even said something that like Denzel told him
Yeah,
that like
when it's
minutes
your
before.
time, the devil will come for you, or something.
yeah.
Like that.
So
Chris,
he
I'm
was
like, the devil came
now?
and the devil knocked and he answered.
Exactly, because I guess Denzel was trying to say that like you need to watch out and like not let the devil get like on your bad side. But it's like, do you not see what just happened? If it's like you agreed with, if you didn't agree with it, and you could say like, oh, the devil used him that night to like go over there and inflict violence on a guy, right? So
the devil said, Will Smith said, who is it? He said, it's the devil. He said, come on in, baby.
come
Let's
on,
go.
yeah.
I wanted to talk about like open relationships because I've had a couple friends who said they're in open relationships, but I've met many a people who said they were in those. But then the girlfriends of mine, they'd say, "Oh, he cheated on me," and I didn't say anything. But it was just like in my mind, it was like, "But you told me you were in an open relationship."
Yeah.
So I get confused
There
because
are some girls that will get into those open relationships to keep their boyfriends.
I don't get it because I'm like, if you're monogamous, you're monogamous. If you're poly, you're poly. And if, there are even people, I'm kind of like in the middle. It's like, I've never done poly, but I'm slightly open to it there'd have to be certain rules in place, right? Discussed before entering that. Like, well, what are the rules? What are the boundaries, right? But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I've met many people who will say we're in an open relationship, and then a couple months later, they cheated on me, and I am confusion because it's like, but you told me that you're free to,
these are people that are lying to themselves in most cases. I'm gonna be honest, because okay, I understand that people have their different relationship orientations. Okay, cool, straight. But the issue is that people get into these relationships. A lot of times when heterosexual people do it, they're trying to keep a hold of the person. They're dealing with someone that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And instead of breaking up or making the decision, they say, oh, we're going to do open relationship. And also the fact that you're in an open relationship doesn't dictate how you feel emotionally. Like you can call yourself open all you want to, but if it bothers you that the person you're with is sleeping with another person, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to change that fact. So
right.
yourself and do what's best for you. That's my opinion.
In the case of go ahead.
Oh, you got to account for human emotion, right? It's like you can make all the rules you want, but emotions are the things that are going to dictate a relationship. Because relations is to relate to one another. It's has nothing to do with like, okay, these are the boundaries and this is what you can and can't do. But it's like what your human default is to rely on your emotions. Like, okay, I just felt something. This is not a part of what I'm supposed to be feeling because we're in an open relationship, but you can't deny your feelings, right? So you betray yourself if you do that.
In the case of a previous relationship, I like men and women, right? And I had a boyfriend, an ex of mine, that said, I don't care if you, date a girl on the side. I told him, okay, but I'm not comfortable with you doing that. And he was fine with that. He could not, but I could, right? I never had a girl on the side. I tried, but got catfished and just had troubles, right? Regular dating troubles trying to get a girl on the side. But he asked, like, can we, do the threesome thing? I was like, I don't think you understand. I would want, you alone and to go out with her. Like,
a lot of guys, they don't.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to have all three of us. I want a girlfriend separately. Like, we wouldn't be doing like me and her alone, and you and me alone, and then all of a sudden, well, I mean that there's no fun in that. What's the
Okay,
fun in
guys,
that?
we gotta bring it back. We gotta bring it back to
Sorry,
Oscars moment. We gotta bring it back to the
It's-
Oscars. Trust me. Listen, Madeline, you gotta turn on your post. Yeah, this is a shameless plug. Turn on your notifications because I do have shows when I'm like, call in and complain about your life. Like whatever you want to call in, complain about whatever you want, talk about whatever you want, whatever. But we're getting towards, like the 2-hour mark. So I wanna just look at this video and just look a couple more about Twitter, and then you guys give your final comments, and then we can call it a night. So let's see what he's saying.
Richard Williams. And what I loved, thank you, Dave. Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for.
God, why did I click? It was the devil. It was the freaking devil. He's deranged, man. He's got to be drunk. Like, because to go through violence to crying to
like that's what I'm saying.
Laughing to violence to crying.
Laughing to violence to crying.
He definitely has some like issues like that he's probably struggling with.
Look at Denzel.
Denzel's like
another one.
Denzel's like this nigga right here.
Oh man.
He looked like he was doing the training day, like
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something right here, Will. I'm gonna tell you something. Devil comes and talks to you. That's when it's your moment, your tiny moment.
you that part where he like looks at the crowd like, ha, you guys are looking at me.
Like, dude, Denzel's like, you could have left me out of that part.
I know. He is like,
dude is deranged. I had spoken on Denzel, I think, in my last stream or to stream too. He's another strange one. Let me tell you, I've seen him in person. I went to like a screening or whatever, and something was off. I don't know. That's all I can really say.
Man, when you
something was very off there.
Yo, we can't.
Celebrities are these.
Yeah, because it's like these millions of dollars that you have, where money is like literally nothing to you. It's like that definitely changes you, right?
The A-list ones, I don't know. He seemed like he might have been drunk. I don't know, but something was definitely up. Like just the way he moved, the way he walked, the way he was looking around. Like I'm just like, okay, he got something drunk, high. I don't know.
But
wait, is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, this video is probably gonna be demonetized, but let's watch.
Williams was a fierce defender of his family.
He's like, that's me. That's me. We're one the same.
Moment.
I gotta put the music on. Hopefully, my shit don't get snatched down.
Overwhelmed by what God is calling.
They should have put the music on for him so he can walk off.
I know. Wrap it up.
Oh man.
Just start clapping. Congrats.
It was one of the most strongest, most delicate people I've ever met. I got to protect Sanaya and Demi.
Who is he talking about?
Who played Venus and Serena.
Oh, okay. So wait, he won an Oscar for that movie, for the Serena.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you guys see that?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
He won an Oscar for a movie that nobody saw.
That's how it usually be.
Oh man.
People. And to be a river to my people.
It sounds so funny with the music.
Do what we do. You got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to
abuse.
Talk crazy about you.
Crazy, come on.
Business you got to be able to have.
The business that you put out there.
Just play the clip of him making fun of Uncle Phil, and we can be done with it.
What did you say?
I said, just play the clip of him making fun of Uncle Phil, and we'll be done with him about abuse.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes forth.
Bro, he really thought he ate.
Right.
He really thought he ate.
Denzel's like, leave my name out your mouth, son.
He really
Leave-
thought he ate right there, yo. He really did.
Oh, can you find the apology? I think he sent out an apology
I
to
just saw that. So let me
to Chris Rock. Let's see how sincere that was, because I don't know. I don't know why he didn't, because he never apologized to Chris Rock when he was doing that speech, right? He said, "Oh, I'd like to."
Will Smith assault is hashtagging on Twitter now.
Oh my gosh, they're using his name as a verb. Like, I'm gonna Will Smith you now. Like, it's a verb now.
Big Willie style.
Yo, people using that meme with Batman slapping Robin though is really
No, I've seen some memes, man. There's one where he's walking up to Chris Rock and they're playing "Here Comes the Man in Black." Like, yo, the internet is undefeated, man.
You see my Poseidon Films Instagram? I reposted. Someone used the clip from Euphoria. I don't know if y'all watch Euphoria. When Maddie runs on stage to beat Cassie's ass, like, they using that clip now. Okay, let me see. I think I have the apology. All right.
I'm kind of over also this devil thing. Like, everything that goes wrong. Like,
Yes,
you go up
it's
there
the
and
devil.
It's the devil. The devil made me do it.
Yep,
and
no
to me,
accountability.
At
The
what
devil
point
made-
is the devil? Is like the devil Chris Rock, or is like the devil you're like meeting his face?
And then the thing was too, he post a picture and captioned it like, "You can't take Philly and Baltimore people nowhere." So he was proud of it. Like, he was happy. All right, so this is what it says. This is from his Instagram. "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I'm a work in progress." Well, he is so full of shit. Like, yes, you stained this entire event with this act, and it's just like I know, like, and it's so funny the way they tried to act like, "Oh, boycott the Oscars those years ago. Oscars so white, whatever." And now, how much you want to bet the Academy came to him and said, "You better get down. You better take a knee right now.
Yeah.
You better get down and take the knee and say, and he was like,
That's the irony of
right on down, put his knee pads on and everything."
Yep.
Like,
because that's it. If you live for the applause, you'll die for it, because they acted like they didn't care about the.
That's a gem. That's a gem right there. Thank you. Oh, that's beautiful.
That was Lady Gaga. I can't take that.
Wait, that's our song, right? Live for the applause.
Applause. Yep.
That's the thing that I don't get though. So all that campaigning about Oscars so white and stuff, and all these people supported them, only to finally reach that moment and then like completely eclipse it with
your acts,
someone in the face. Like, it just doesn't, like, what sense does that make? Like, as a grown adult, I just don't understand it.
And it's even worse that's like the Oscars. Okay, the Oscars have been white for so long, since like the 1930s, and there's never been one act of violence. And the one time, right? It's just like, come on.
Exactly. And like, it's just like, I feel like young people, like, us, like under 40 crowd, going all the way down to Gen Z and then Gen A, I guess that's what you call them. Like, we are looking at these award shows and seeing them for what they really are, just circle jerks, and it's
Yeah.
just not. It's not about who is really is the best.
Mhm.
And I feel like, the fact that, Will and all them still look at like, well, I haven't got my Oscar, just shows the generation gap. The
Yeah.
same way Diddy is still complaining about the Grammys. It's like the Grammys don't do nothing about who is really the best. Like if you still think that, you're asleep still. Like, yeah, how do you not know that? So
Yeah,
you know,
if you give me $1 billion, you won't hear nothing about the Oscars from my mouth. I'm like, because like these guys are they're beyond rich. I think Jada wore like $125,000 dress to the Oscars, and it's just
oh
like,
my gosh, wow.
I don't know, man. It's just when I look at this whole like spectacle, I'm just like, no, like these guys don't even live like average lives, but yet still they want to say like, oh, we're oppressed. It's like, come on. You're in the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah,
I don't like how also like, so Will talked about like, of course Richard Williams like deserves all of his props, but Will tried to turn it into like a protecting Black family, Black women thing, and I'm like, please don't drag us into this. Like, you spoke on behalf of Jada Pinkett, which is your right. That's your wife. That's your woman. But let's not make it a whole like an us issue.
Yeah, and I will say I haven't seen the movie, but I find it a little bit uncomfortable that they're making Serena Williams arguably one of the greatest athletes, of our generation of all time. Her story is about the father. Like, why is it not like? Why is it telling his story? I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but that was a little bit like, okay.
I mean, from what I understand, it's actually the Williams sisters that commissioned it.
Okay.
So I think it's like in his honor, which I mean, like,
is he still alive or no?
Huh? Yeah, he's still alive. Okay. I believe he's still alive. I think he like remarried like someone else, and he has like other kids. But but yeah, I mean, it's like pretty crazy.
He obviously had a lot to do with their success and stuff like that. But it would be interesting. It's kind of like watching a movie about Joe Jackson, right? Rather than like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a little bit like, it's like, yeah, Joe did his thing, but it's like,
just slapping this crap out of Michael, smacking the black off of him, I should say.
Any final thoughts about this, and then we'll call it a night.
Oh, one last thing you could do. There's a picture of showing all the reactions, and everybody has different reactions. Can you find that picture? The one where it's like the reaction of like the people in the Oscars where they saw the slap.
Like Nicole Kidman, Lupita. It's like a collage of all these people's faces.
Yeah, and you can see like
Lupita's face.
She was like, "What's going on?" Well, what's it called? Ryan Gosling was laughing. Like a whole bunch of like people were like just find it funny.
I have a final thought.
Oh wait, is it the crowd picture? Hold on.
Right.
It's like different individual pictures they have, like, but they're all like a collage.
Let me see. Now Dave Chappelle is trending.
What is
like,
it?
Why am I in it?
He's like, now he's gonna get slapped at his next special.
Meryl Streep over here, The Rock. Look at The Rock's face.
Dude, The Rock is like
I forget what this is. Harry Mulligan, I think. Look, Matt Damon.
There's Salma Hayek right there.
What's his name? I forget what this guy's name. This is not Lyric Bent. I forget what his name is. Yeah. Oh, Ben Affleck. Oh yeah, Salma Hayek. The Rock is. Do you smell what The Rock?
I know he has the eyebrow.
He's got the eyebrow up right now.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh. They probably all thought it was a skit. Like,
yeah, I honestly did the first time I saw it too. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's like, to bring in ratings or whatever. But then when I saw him like cussing at him, I'm like, oh, he's serious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, obviously, I still think that it was a performance from Will, like in a way. And he a narcissistic and deranged performance. But I guess this is Jay-Z and Beyonce's reaction.
But I guess the thing about being an actor is kind of.
Here, this is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Except the person in the middle is a.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But look at Meryl Streep's face. Like she looks horrified.
Yeah.
Like where am I right now? Is this a? It's like,
Oh, this is what's her name? What's this girl's name? She was in White Chicks. I forget what
oh
her name.
yeah, yeah. She was.
Oh yeah,
Her
she's
name is
that.
like
Yeah,
Peppy
yeah,
or
yeah.
Penny or Poopy. Some she's got
Right,
some
one of the
weird
real
name.
white chicks, not the fake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Emma Watson. No, but Meryl Streep's face is like, get me out of here.
Literally no one. Lupita's reaction.
I love that puppet. I love that puppet.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was and then yeah, they said that they gave him a standing ovation too, which was
What after
like
he slapped him?
I think no, that
Oh,
was
or
after he accepted his award. Oh look,
That's the
Naomi,
real one.
what's her name?
So
Naomi
that's Charlize Theron, I think.
Charlize Theron.
Right.
Charlize
Yeah.
Theron. Mel Gibson.
look at Mel Gibson.
Did you
Mel
know
Gibson, who
is said
Mel
words?
Gibson, who got canceled for saying stuff about the Jews. Even he's
Yes.
shocked. He's like, "Wow, this is way too far."
He's like, this is ghetto.
Oh my
Mel Gibson
god.
is like, moving out the ghetto.
Oh,
Because you know he be saying racist shit. He's like, see, this is what happens when you invite
Right.
the
He
black.
has that crazy like voicemail or something for
Yes,
his
that
girl.
voicemail, that horrible voicemail. He's
Right.
like, this is what
Yeah.
happens when you invite the blacks. This is it right here. Look at Ryan Gosling. He's like,
Yeah, he's
"What?"
dying. He's dying. Like,
This is so. I feel bad for Chris Rock. He's probably like so humiliated. Like,
nah, he said he just took it in stride. He's just like, he's like,
I
oh well,
know
it is
his
what it is.
ass was embarrassed though. But they said he like immediately he left the venue immediately, like afterward.
Mhm.
But anyway, so y'all, do y'all have any final talking points? I mean, I think we beat it to death at this point.
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
final thought is what I said before. If you got trauma that's unresolved, if you got hurt, it's really important to address that, because every time something like this happens, there's going to be triggers on triggers on triggers, and you won't be able to see things for what they are. You're going to look through the filter of your pain, and I'm working on that. It's a
I think
process.
that's a good life. I think that's good life advice in general, just so you can
Yeah.
see the world in a better, clearer way. All right, so Uncle, do you have anything you want to say?
I guess my final thoughts is for people to not insert themselves into don't take offense of things on other people's behalf so much, and protect comedy at all costs.
That's a good message. All right, Chris.
Yeah, I probably
Take
have
us
to.
home.
Okay. Yeah, the same sentiment. It's like, what world do we want to live in? Do we want to live in like a really sensitive world where we can't even like say jokes anymore? Because that's pretty much what Nazi Germany was. Like, it was like, you say something, you're getting reported, you're gone. Like, there's right speech and then there's wrong speech and all that stuff. I don't want to live in that world. I want people to say everybody can say what they say, and then if somebody says something you don't like, just distance yourself from them and say, okay, well, they can go over there in that corner with the other guys that believe that. But I don't want to silence people, because then it's gonna just breed more hate underground, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys calling in. Like, you guys are what keep me doing this. It was a good conversation. I'm so happy that I decided to talk about this. I love hearing you guys' opinions, the jokes, good laughs. So you guys have a good night, and make sure y'all leave a like. Y'all participate, but leave a like on the video, and that would be helpful for me.
No
All
problem.
right.
All
Good
right,
night, guys.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Bye.
Night, Liz. Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching that show. That was so fun. Good conversation. I love a call in. As I mentioned to you guys before, I'm pretty sure like 95 or more % of my shows are going to be call-ins at this point, because it's just so much better to call in and talk to you guys about things that happen, like interesting stuff. So that's what that will be. Hopefully we can have a Wednesday show now that I'm back in my home studio, whatever. And make sure you guys like this video. If you didn't catch the beginning, catch on the playback, listen to it on your way to work tomorrow. Leave a comment. We always love those. And Other than that, I would say good night, see ya. And just because you disagree with someone, don't go on stage and slap them in front of millions of people. All right? You heard it here first. Peace out, guys. Mwah. Love you.